For the recently completed 2018 World Cup hosted by Russia, Asia sent 5 representatives. Those teams were Iran, Saudi Arabia, Australia, Japan, and Korea Republic. Those 5 teams qualified by either winning their groups or coming in second, and in Australia's case, they won the Intercontinental Playoff versus Honduras. But in today's video, I don't want to talk about the 2018 World Cup. I want to talk about the 2022 World Cup, which would be hosted by an Asian nation in Qatar. This would mark the second time the FIFA World Cup is hosted by the AFC. The first time was in 2002 when Japan and Korea Republic hosted it jointly. So when the World Cup comes back around in 2022, Asia will have 5 guaranteed slots along with the half spot that will compete in the Intercontinental Playoff final. For those 4.5 spots, 46 member associations will take part in 4 rounds of qualification, where the first 2 rounds will also serve as qualifiers for the 2023 Asian Cup hosted by China. For the first round of the qualifiers, teams ranked from 35th to 46 competed in home and away fixtures, where the winner advanced to the second round. Across 2 legs, Mongolia defeated Brunei 3-2 on aggregate. Sri Lanka advanced 3-1 on aggregate after Macau decided not to play the return leg for security reasons, even though they won the home leg 1-0. Bangladesh cruised past Laos, while Malaysia crushed East Timor 12-2 on aggregate. Cambodia humbled Pakistan 4-1 on aggregate, and Guam came from behind to defeat Bhutan 5-1 on aggregate. This means that Mongolia, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Malaysia, Cambodia, and Guam will all move on to the second round to join the teams ranked from 1 to 34th. It will also be very interesting to see if any one of these first round teams qualify for the 2023 Asian Cup and, of course, the 2022 World Cup. So now we have got to the part that you guys have all been waiting for, where I predict my second round picks. I'll only be talking about the 2022 World Cup and not the 2023 AFC Asian Cup, because I don't want to focus on that right now. It's still 4 years to come. But the 2022 World Cup is the focus here. So without further ado, let's get into the predictions. The second round will be contested by 40 teams drawn into 8 groups of 5, where the winners and the best 4 second place finishers will advance to the third round, which means there will only be 12 teams remaining in the third round. And I must say that I admire the format that the AFC has chosen to use for the 2022 World Cup qualifiers. It means that a small team can go through all these rounds and qualify for the World Cup and write a remarkable Cinderella story, unlike CONCACAF. So let's start with the first group, Group A, where we have China, Syria, Maldives, Philippines, and Guam. So since we have 8 groups, I don't want to spend too much time explaining my picks. I'm just gonna let you know who I think is gonna place 5th all the way up to 1st, and give a short reason, nothing too descriptive. And remember guys, these are only my opinions and my predictions. You can also leave yours in the comment section down below. Let's respect each other's opinions, because remember guys, they're only opinions. Everybody has one. It doesn't mean that we think we're right. So let's have some fun and predict the second round of the Asian qualifiers for the 2022 World Cup. And I must note that China and Philippines were also in the same group for the 2019 Asian Cup, where China came out 3-0 victors in that fixture. So coming in 5th in this group, I'm gonna go for the Maldives. I honestly don't know much about this team. I never seen them play, but they are seemingly the weakest team in this group. And when I say they are the weakest team in this group, they did not play in the first round, but I'm gonna give Guam the edge to come in 4th after their brilliant display in the second round to come from behind versus Bhutan. Remember guys, these qualifiers serve a dual purpose for the 2022 World Cup and the 2023 AFC Asian Cup. Coming in 4th will be very important, because you will move into the 3rd qualifying round for the 2023 AFC Asian Cup. I don't want to talk too much about the Asian Cup though, but I just want to mention that coming in 4th in the group is very important. 5th gets nothing. So third in the group, I'm gonna go for the Philippines. They made their first appearance at an Asian Cup in the recently completed 2019 event, and I think they're gonna put on a pretty okay showing and place third. But I just think that Syria and China will be too much for them to handle. They did show some promise at the Asian Cup with their predominantly German-based squad, so I think they could possibly qualify for the third round. I'm just saying possibly. But for me, I'm going for them to come in third and not advance to the next round. Coming in second, I have a toss-up between China and Syria. I'm gonna go for Syria here. I was not impressed with Syria at the recently completed Asian Cup. They were the team I chose to follow. It was a random draw and it disappointed me. Omar Kabin and Omar Al-Soma was largely absent in that tournament. So these two guys need to show up and do something good for Syria. The nation needs the inspiration and they did not get it early on in the year. So I think they're gonna bounce back, come in second, but just fall short of China, who I'm gonna go for as a first place finish in Group A. China, they did not do too bad at the Asian Cup. We know they have the talent. They have a very, very good league structure. They have paid a lot of foreigners to come in there, hoping that some of those talent will rub off on their Chinese players. They have guys like Wu Lei, who is very, very talented, and I'm not gonna try to go into the Chinese player's name because I really don't remember them. I just remember their talisman, Wu Lei. So I think that China, who made it to the third round of the 2018 qualifiers, will make another appearance in that round. So China definitely will move on to the third round. At the end of all my predictions, I will let you know who I think is the 4 best second place teams. But for now, I'm going for Syria to come in second, China first. So let's move on to Group B, where we have Australia, Jordan, Chinese Taipei, Kuwait, and Nepal. I also would like to note that Australia and Jordan were in the same group at the 2019 AFC Asian Cup, where Jordan shocked the Socceroos and defeated them 1-0. So here are my predictions for Group B. In 5th position, I'm gonna go for Nepal. I never seen Nepal play. I am going to underestimate them and place them dead 5th in the group, and they will not take part in the Asian Cup. They will not move on to the next round. That's just my predictions for Nepal. So if there's anybody from Nepal watching this, man, I'm sorry to give you this bleak predictions, but guys, let's be real here. Nepal is not known for their footballing prowess. So let's move on to the 4th place team. In 4th, I'm gonna go for Chinese Taipei, better known as Taiwan. Well, we know it as Taiwan. I don't think Taiwan got what it takes to qualify for the 2022 World Cup or even place in the top 3. Again, never seen them play, and I don't want to hear any one of you guys comment and say, oh, if you never seen them play, why you're predicting. Guys, come on, it's Chinese Taipei. Do you even know a player from Chinese Taipei? Like, I'm waiting. Name me one. Just name me one. Only one. Name me one. Don't Google it, just name me one. But anyways, I have Chinese Taipei coming in 4th. Coming in 3rd, I'm gonna go for Kuwait, who are coming back after serving a ban. Historically, Kuwait is a very good footballing nation, but they have been in a bit of turmoil as of late, so I really don't know how Kuwait looks right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and place them 3rd, just above the 2 minnows. Kuwait may also be considered a minnow, but they did, however, qualify for the World Cup in the past. And they also won the Asian Cup back in 1980. Well, they were forced to be reckoned with back then. So I have Kuwait in 3rd. Now for the 2 most important places in the group, 2nd and 1st. Would it be Australia or will it be Jordan? Guys, I'm going to go for Jordan to come in 2nd here. I know they did well at the 2019 Asian Cup, defeating Australia and all, but I think the Socceroos are the most solid team. They're going through a transition of some sort, changing coaches, some players moving on, but I still think they are a talented enough unit to place top of Group B. So I'm going for Australia to move on to the 3rd round, definitely. Guys, remember, if you also want to add anything in the comment section down below, please do that. Do me a favor and add things in the comments. If you want to add something about a specific team, like a fun fact, please do so down below. So let's move on to Group C, where we have Iran, Iraq, Bahrain, Hong Kong, and Cambodia. Also, I would like to note that Iran and Iraq were placed in the same group for the 2019 Asian Cup, a match which ended in a 0-0 draw. It was a very feisty affair, and I expect another one. It will be 2 legs this time. Awesome stuff. Awesome. But anyways, my predictions for Group C are as follows. Cambodia in 5th. Don't know much about Cambodia, but they're coming through from round 1. It would be nice to see them move on to the 3rd round and vie for one of those spots, but I don't think they got what it takes. So I'm gonna place them 5th, just behind Hong Kong. Also, Hong Kong is not renowned for their footballing prowess, but they do have an okay club system, and I think it would help them to at least a 4th place finish. In 3rd, I'm gonna say Bahrain, who didn't do too bad at the 2019 Asian Cup, and they have been so unlucky in the past, never made it to a World Cup, but they have gotten close on 2 occasions. Like, when is Bahrain ever gonna qualify for a World Cup? Has their best chances passed them already? I'm gonna have them as 3rd though. I don't think they're gonna qualify for the 2022 World Cup at all. It will be nice since they are a Middle Eastern nation and all. It would be close to home, but I don't think they are gonna do it. In 2nd place, I have Iraq, who is a very, very gritty team. Mohamed Ali looked very, very bright at the 2019 event. He's a young forward that just got scooped up by Qatari club Al Duhail, so it shows how good he is. And I was also very impressed with his performances at the 2019 Asian Cup. There is also Ali Adnan, who now plays in the MLS. He formerly played in the Syria, and at left back, he is a force to be reckoned with. He has a devilish left foot in dead ball situations. And despite the Iran versus Iraq rivalry, I'm gonna have Iran coming in top of this group. They're gonna trump all the teams in this group and might even go through to the 3rd round unbeaten. Who knows? Maybe without even conceding a single goal. Iran was quite impressive at the 2019 Asian Cup despite not winning the tournament. It was a disappointing end to their event, and they even saw their longtime coach Carlos Queiroz moving on to Colombia. But with guys like Mehdi Taremi, Alireza Jahanbakhsh, and their talisman up top Sada Azmoun, I see Iran making it to the 3rd round once again. I don't know why I sounded like that. I see Iran making it to the 3rd round once again. So let's move on to Group D, where we have Saudi Arabia, Uzbekistan, Palestine, Yemen, and Singapore. In this group, I have Yemen coming in 5th. Despite being one of the teams that made it to the 2019 Asian Cup, they were so poor. They were appalling. And I don't mean to be too harsh on Yemen. The country isn't really going through the best of times, but I don't think the football is at its best either. So I have them coming in 5th. Coming in 4th, a surprise pick here, I'm gonna go for Singapore. Very, very mysterious team. I don't know much about them, but they are my surprise pick coming in 4th. And who knows, they could even qualify for the 2023 Asian Cup hosted by China. Coming in 3rd, I'm gonna say Palestine. They were quite impressive at the 2019 Asian Cup. They didn't do too bad, but they did not qualify for the knockout stage. I think what Palestine lacks is a deadly striker up front. If they are to go on to the 3rd round, they would need to change that right now or very, very soon. For 2nd, it's a toss-up between Uzbekistan and Saudi Arabia. Uzbekistan has never qualified for the FIFA World Cup, and I think they are getting very, very close to doing so. So I'm going to go for them coming in 2nd. They weren't too bad at the 2019 Asian Cup either. With Odil Akhmedov in the team still, I think Uzbekistan is a force to be reckoned with, and I'm gonna go for them to come in 2nd behind Saudi Arabia, who will move on to the 3rd round of AFC 2022 World Cup Qualifiers. Saudi Arabia recently defeated Egypt at the 2018 World Cup, and it was a huge, huge achievement because they hadn't won a World Cup game since 1994 when they made their debut. So Saudi Arabia, they're going through a transition of some sort, but with guys like Fahad Al Muallad and Salem Al Dosari still in the setup, and looking very, very good. I think Saudi Arabia are on the right path to qualify for the 2022 event. So then we'll move on to the third round. So let's move on to Group E, where it's a very, very interesting group because it has the 2022 World Cup host Qatar in there. And you may be asking, why is Qatar in the qualifiers? It's because even though they won the 2019 Asian Cup, they do not qualify automatically for the next event. They have to go through qualifiers, hence the reason they are in Group E. So along with Qatar, there's Bangladesh, Oman, Afghanistan, and India. Let's make a note here. If Qatar wins the group, it means the second place team in this group will automatically qualify for the next round. And they will also qualify for the 2023 Asian Cup as well. If Qatar places first or second in this group, they can only advance to the third round of the 2023 Asian Cup qualifiers. That's the only reason why they are in the group. But I don't think Qatar are here to do anyone any favors. This would also serve as very, very good warm-up fixtures for the event that they will be hosting. Very controversial host as well. Let's just make note of that. Coming in fifth in Group E, I'm gonna put Afghanistan in the last place. Don't know much about Afghanistan football, but I'm just gonna say they're gonna place fifth. And I'm gonna put them behind Bangladesh, one of the nations that came through the first round. Bangladesh is not renowned for their footballing prowess. They are a better cricketing nation than they are at football, but I'm gonna say that Bangladesh is gonna continue a very good run from the first round and come in fourth to give themselves a chance to qualify for the 2023 Asian Cup. And now this is where it gets tricky. 3 spots left: Qatar, Oman, and India. I know a lot of Indians will be watching this video and they will be curious to see if I'm going to predict India to move on to the third round. Guys, well, I have bad news for you. I have India coming in third in this group behind Oman and Qatar, and therefore they will miss out on 2022 World Cup qualification. But they still will have their eyes on the 2023 AFC Asian Cup. So India, I had high hopes for this team at the 2019 Asian Cup and they flopped big time. After they blew Thailand away in their opening fixture, they disappointingly did not move on to the knockout phase. And recently in the King's Cup, they didn't even advance to the finals. And I was expecting big things of India after appointing their new boss Igor Stimac. So I don't think Indian football has progressed as much as some of the Indians think. And I'm not just saying this to be harsh. I know I'm gonna get a lot of backlash for this, but I have to keep it 100. Matter of fact, I have to keep it 1,000. I don't think India is gonna place higher than third, but I have a challenge for the Indian football team. Prove me wrong, okay? Prove me wrong. And if India does go on to the third round, then you guys could come back here and you guys could laugh at me and say I don't know what I'm talking about. But right now, I'm not going for India moving on to the third round. Coming in second in the group, I'm going to go for Oman. I think Oman are more seasoned campaigner than India. They have the experience and they have the talent, and they are the reigning Gulf Cup champions as well. Let's not forget that. Oman are the Gulf Cup champions. So I'm not going to underestimate Oman. They did pretty decent at the 2019 Asian Cup. It's just the finishing that let them down. So I'm going to go for them coming in second behind the 2022 World Cup host Qatar, and it's self-explanatory. I don't need to explain this. Qatar are a vastly improved team and they have a wealth of talent, a team that has been together for such a long time. So I'm gonna go for them top in this group. They are the reigning AFC Asian Cup champions as well, and they recently participated in the 2019 Copa America and they definitely performed well. Sanchez and his boys did give a good account of themselves. So Almoez, Ali, Akram, Afif, and all these guys, I'm looking forward to see what they bring to this qualifiers. So with Qatar topping the group, Oman will definitely benefit from this and move on to the third round automatically and also qualify for the 2023 AFC Asian Cup. Sorry, Indians. I know you're mad at me, but sorry. Not sorry. I have to keep it real, man. So let's move on to Group F, where we have Japan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Myanmar, and Mongolia. This group is a very weird group. I don't know how Japan ended up in this very easy group, but let's go ahead and predict it anyway. In 5th position, I'm gonna say Myanmar. Don't know much about this minnow, but I don't think they're gonna place higher than 5th at all, so Myanmar, prove me wrong. In 4th place, I'm gonna go for Tajikistan. This team could be a very gritty team like most of the Central Asian nations, but I'm gonna go for them to come in 4th, just behind Mongolia, who came through from the first round. So I have one of these first round team coming in 3rd, and it will put them in a very good position to qualify for the next Asian Cup. Coming in 2nd, I'm gonna go for Kyrgyzstan. They did do very well at the 2019 Asian Cup, making it to the knockout round for the first time ever, while also making their debut. So I'm gonna say Kyrgyzstan coming 2nd. Behind, of course, is gonna be Japan. They're gonna have little to no competition in this group. There I go underestimating the other teams, but guys, come on. We know how good Japan is. We know how much depth the national team setup has. And the recently concluded Copa America shows that. They just needed to be better in their finishing, and they would have done better at that tournament. So I'm gonna go for Japan to top Group F. They were also at the last FIFA World Cup. They were also the finalists in the 2019 Asian Cup. So come on, I don't even need to elaborate on Japan. Very good team. So now let's move on to Group G. In Group G, we have the United Arab Emirates, Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia. What a weird group. This is a Southeast Asian group. This is crazy. How did this group actually happen? Like United Arab Emirates, how did you manage to get yourself sandwiched between all these Southeast Asian teams? Like, this is a weird group. All right, let's predict this group anyways. In 5th place, I'm gonna go for Indonesia. Don't know much about their football, but I'm gonna put them 5th anyways. 4th place, I'm gonna go for Malaysia, coming through from the first round. And I know the Malaysians are gonna comment and say that they are better than 4th, but come on, prove me wrong, Malaysia. After defeating Timor-Leste or East Timor 12-1 on aggregate, let's see if you have any more of that in the tank. Coming in 3rd, I'm gonna say Thailand, who recently appointed the former Japanese coach Akira Nishino. He took Japan to the World Cup and he was quite impressive. Could he turn Thailand's fortunes around? Remember, at the 2019 Asian Cup, they did advance to the knockout phase, but they weren't overly impressive. They had to fire their coach and they had to turn their fortunes around after getting embarrassed against India. In the recently concluded King's Cup, they also placed runners-up to Vietnam after conceding a very comical goal. So could Thailand continue their ascendancy? They were part of the 3rd round in the 2018 qualifiers. They were not one of the best teams, but they still made it to the 3rd round. This time around, I think they're gonna miss out. Despite having talented players like Tirasil Dangda, Titipan, and Chanatip Sankersen in their team, I think they're gonna fall just short. And they're gonna fall short behind no other than Vietnam, who I think are a team on the up. With guys like Nguyen Công Pham and Wing An Duc, I think Vietnam will be a team to keep an eye on going forward. They were also quite impressive at the recently concluded 2019 Asian Cup, where they made it to the quarterfinals for the first time ever in their history. So I'm gonna go for Vietnam to come in 2nd, just behind the UAE, who I think is the best team in this group. They recently hosted the Asian Cup and didn't impress too much on home soil, but I think they got what it takes to top these Southeast Asian teams. And no disrespect to Southeast Asia, I just think UAE are a better team. With Omar Abdul Rahman, Khaled Isa, Ali Makbout, and Ahmed Khalil still in the setup, I think the UAE will be a force to be reckoned with in qualifiers as well, and they will move on to the 3rd round to vie for one of those spots for the 2022 World Cup. They would definitely want to qualify for that event. It will be hosted by Qatar, a team that they don't get along too well with, but they will still want to be there to, you know, prove their neighbors that they have it and they are actually a better footballing team than they are. But the recently concluded Asian Cup did not prove so. And last but not least, guys, the final group, Group H, where we have South Korea, Lebanon, North Korea, Turkmenistan, and Sri Lanka. We have another derby in this group. North Korea versus South Korea. It will be an amicable event. Trust me, it will be. So coming in 5th in this group, I'm going to place Sri Lanka right there. They did not even win a single game to qualify for the second round. It was just because Macau pulled out, and I'm going to put Sri Lanka in dead 5th. They are mostly known for their cricketing prowess. They won the Cricket World Cup back in 1996. Did you know that? Did I get the date right? 96, right? And also, guys, fun fact, I also visited Sri Lanka back in 2006. In 4th place, I'm gonna say Turkmenistan. They qualified for the 2019 Asian Cup and didn't do too bad despite not making it out their group. But I'm gonna place them in 4th position, just behind North Korea, which is a tough decision to make. But I think North Korea will bounce back from their horror show at the 2019 Asian Cup. I'm banking on you guys to do it, North Korea. Like, come on, come on. You could do better than that, man. They were horrible at the 2019 Asian Cup, but I still have them coming in 3rd. In 2nd place, I'm gonna say Lebanon, and despite not making it out of the group at the 2019 Asian Cup, they were quite impressive. I think they lack the goal scorers, and if they are to qualify for the 2022 World Cup, they have to work on that. They have to definitely work on their goal scoring. So I'm gonna put the Cedars in 2nd place behind no other than Korea Republic, or as we know it, South Korea. Come on, guys, this is a no-brainer. South Korea are gonna smash every single team in this group, especially if Han-Ming's son participates in all the qualifying games. They don't even need him, I think. They have enough talent to come through the second round of qualifiers. Maybe in the 3rd round, they will definitely need him because they won't want to be playing around at all. But I think he will participate though. So this one was a pretty easy group to predict the winner, South Korea. Once again, they were quite impressive at the 2018 World Cup as well. And I say that because they knocked out the holders, Germany. So guys, remember I told you would have to wait until I finish predicting all 8 groups before you know my best 4 second place teams. Well, my best 5, because I predicted Qatar to top the group. So I have 7 group winners and 5 second place teams. So for my group winners, I have China, Australia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Japan, the UAE, and South Korea. For my best second place teams, I have Oman, of course, who placed 2nd in Qatar's group, so they automatically go through. Now for my best 4 second place teams, I have Uzbekistan, Jordan, Vietnam, and Iraq. Final on that, Uzbekistan, Jordan, Vietnam, and Iraq. Those 12 teams will then be split into 2 groups of 6, where the winners and the runners-up will directly qualify for the 2022 World Cup, and the 2 third-place teams will play in the 4th round for a spot in the FIFA Intercontinental Playoff Final versus a team from CONCACAF, most likely. So guys, that brings you to an end of my 2nd round predictions for the AFC qualifiers for the 2022 World Cup hosted by Qatar. That was a lot to say, right? I want you to let me know your predictions in the comment section down below. Don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up, man, for all the effort that I put into this video. Production, great, right? And if you're new around here, consider hitting the subscribe button. I really appreciate that. And from your boy Dominic Rich, I would just like to say thank you for getting all the way to the end of the video. And until next time, I like to say peace out. Rich Squad.
Trippin' Aquafina, I'm sippin' 15, kept a weapon on me. Flow make digits, I'm on my business, stack chicken like what it's gon' be. Crew in the cut, hey, you want us, red run when I tell a bit peace. Love is love. Love is love. Adios. Bendo with the switch again. Boy deliver like he heffin' it. Core with digits, give him estimates. Somersaults for my Benjamins. I got what you need, baby. Skirt the Chevy, make a scene, baby. LABB been the team, baby.